Hey YouTube, got another knife review for you. Small fixed blade. Now this is a knife, this is the Fury Extreme Diving Knife. And this is a knife just as a weapon collector I couldn't resist because it just looks so unique. It just looks so exotic. Now you might be wondering, well, first of all, the blade length on this, 3 1/4 inches. The handle is made of, as you can see, it's textured resin. Right, it is double-edged, right, and the steel is 440C because it is meant to be used in the water, near the water. It has to be a stainless steel, all right, so the 440C is actually good for that application. And let me just give you a closer look at this unique-looking blade. All right, there you see the 3 1/4 inch blade. This is manufactured in Taiwan. And look at that. Now, you might be wondering, what is this used for? Actually, this is used in spear fishing. And what they do, and the reason that I know this is because, hold on, let's give you something to look at. The reason that I know this is because I've seen videos of this. What they do is they shoot the fish with a spear gun, and then to dispatch the fish, they actually insert that extremely pointed blade into the brain of the fish, and it kills the fish cleanly. And some of these fish are kind of dangerous because they have spikes and spines, and as they flop around, it can injure the diver. Okay, so there is a real use for that extreme stiletto tip. All right, it's basically to execute fish, and it can also be used as general utility during diving or on a boat. Right, you see the serrations there. It can be useful for cutting cordage. Now the price tag on this was it was $21.50. All right, and now I want to stress I am not reviewing this as a dive knife because I know people that do scuba diving, and it's an extremely complex thing to go scuba diving, okay? So you have to be certified. It's almost like a martial art. You have to be certified at different levels, and it can be very dangerous if you're not qualified. So I'm not going to review this as a scuba knife because I am not a certified scuba person. But I will review it as just, it was fairly inexpensive, and I thought it would be of interest because it's extremely lightweight, first of all. The resin handle and the very thin blade, it could be used as general utility. Now, I tried cutting some paper with it. It didn't really cut paper very well, but one thing it does do, it actually cuts cordage very well. Now, I don't have a boat, but I know a little bit about boats, and the ability to cut lines and cut cordage is extremely important on a boat. And how do you use it? You actually push it through. You push the serrations through, right, like that, and that's what it'll do. That's what it'll do to cordage and lines. So very useful in that respect. All right, and the blade also does come with this sheath. And now, I'm just going to show this because if, as I said, I would be carrying this as just a very lightweight utility blade. So, but if you are interested in the water applications, this is what it comes with. It's this sheath, and then it comes with that piece there. Now this piece here, it lines up with those screw holes, so like that. And again, I'm just showing this in case the people out there know what it's for, the scuba people out there. And it comes with these rubber straps to affix it to your leg when diving. All right. Now I'm probably just going to make my own sheath. I'm just going to make my own sheath for this so I can carry it on land if I want to. Alright, so what would be the use of this knife for most of us who are probably not, certified scuba people? Well, on land, a knife like this is simply is simply a boot knife. It would be comparable, you know, kind of a variation on stuff like this. This is my Fall Niven Garm Fighter. This goes for about $110. It's double-edged VG10, Swedish company Fall Niven, very respected. And you know, it's what's called a boot knife. It's basically a small fixed blade meant for very last ditch use, and also, you know, just emergency utility. All right, and as you can see, these are of a fairly comparable size. All right, so you know, this is basically kind of an exotic boot knife slash super lightweight utility, and I just think it's very interesting. It's interesting because, just, you know, as a weapon collector, I go to a lot of knife stores, but stuff like this generally is not sold in cutlery stores. It's actually, if you want this, just look up scuba diving knife, and it's actually sold in scuba diving type supply stores. Right, so it was just an interesting find. Now, one thing I want to point out, it might look super thin, like it might look really fragile. The blade is actually thicker. It is actually thicker than it looks. Like, I thought I would be able to bend it like some cheap knives. It actually will not bend. Okay, it will not bend. All right. I mean, all right, you could bend it a little, but you know, it's not going to bend nearly as much as a cheap knife. All right, just for comparison, you know, this is how much I can bend it. All right, that's how much I can bend it with a, you know, moderate amount of force. With a cheaper knife, okay, I can bend this, I can almost bend this in half with this, and that's the same amount of force, okay? So a cheap thin knife, I can almost bend this in half with my hand. This, it will bend slightly, but it's just altogether, it's altogether a lot more durable than it might appear. Another thing I would point out is that this handle, which is extra, you know, it's obviously extra wide compared to the blade itself, provides an excellent grip. The oversized handle, it's a good feature. It's almost like an oyster knife. If you've seen those knives they use to open oysters, they obviously need a secure grip for safety. It's that type of handle, so very interesting knife overall. Super secure grip, incredibly pointed blade, and the serrations would be good emergency utility, as you saw with the paracord. And the weight on this, you know, I would estimate the weight is maybe 2.5 ounces. I mean, it is super light, and you know, it's very interesting. I hope you enjoyed the review. You know, if you need a reasonably priced type of you know, variation of a boot knife, and slash, you know, super lightweight, light utility slash boot knife, or if you just need to if you're a spear fisherman and you just need to dispatch some fish, you know, the Fury knife, it's pretty cool for the price. Hope you enjoyed this review. Stay tuned for many more.